Welcome to One-on-One with Colette Linden. Today we're here with Ward 5 candidate, Corey Gardi. Hi. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
we were saying not too long ago it was all Zoom, so it's really refreshing to bring our interviews back.
Absolutely.
And having actual people come into the building. So welcome. How's the campaign going?
So far, so good. I'm pretty encouraged by what I'm hearing at the doors. So I'm pretty confident about things.
Good. So, we have been asking the candidates who currently sit on council.
Yep.
The what's been the good, what's been the bad, and what you would like to see come to fruition, perhaps some projects that are still underway, because I know a lot of projects were planned for the last couple of years. And also we're going to talk about some contentious issues that maybe council might have passed that the citizens still want some answers for, and if you could speak to those as well as your platform.
Sure. So specifically, if I talk West End in terms of projects, we've been working at getting some of the main thoroughfares resurfaced. We ran into a bit of an issue earlier this year with some timing of things. Some of the contractors had some workforce problems. So over the course of the next two construction seasons, Wallace Terrace and Second Line were slated to be reconstructed. There's been a late start to this year's construction season and those two components. Second Line just started last week or the week before, and then I'm hopeful for Wallace Terrace moving forward. So those are two big pieces of infrastructure projects in the West End that people will benefit from. I was encouraged that when I brought forth the idea for the West End splash pad, that I got council support. I was a little discouraged that at budget time the funds were reduced and the scope of the project was reduced a bit. That being said, come budget time this year, I'll be looking for the support, because I think anything the East End has, the West End should have and replicate to the same size and scope. So.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll talk to that a little bit. We are West Enders on Ward 4. There are many parks to play in for the children, and again, of course, you've got Bellevue Park and all these great places and big soccer fields in other wards. So tell me what's on the agenda for that park and when it's slated to open.
So the splash pad should open mid-summer next year, next to the Manzo pool. They did a study of where it should be located, and I think just tapping into the existing infrastructure was the best place for it. So that's where you'll see it, and families will enjoy it next summer.
That's good to hear. So I'm going to ask you the Mill Market approval that didn't sit well with a lot of people in the community. We did receive a lot of email asking us to look into it. As you know, we do attend the meetings. What are your thoughts on that? I know how things were voted. I was also,
Sure.
Yeah, we all do, and that's fine. But tell me, that's quite over budget for I can't get it out of my head as you see 5 additional vendors, and I know that the current infrastructure of the Mill Market is crumbling and has been for the last decade. So.
Tell me So I was supportive of the project. We're still waiting on some federal funds, which I'm confident we're going to get to help offset the cost of it. I'm confident in that. Here's how I feel. Okay, I think the community has to be laser focused on retaining and recruiting families, talent, and business. It was very competitive pre-pandemic. Coming out of the pandemic, it's going to put in that effort. I've been saying it's going to pale in comparison. Cities across North America need people, quite frankly. And if we don't have healthy engagement opportunities within the community, we're not going to be able to compete. Also, the Mill Market brings 3,000 to 5,000 people down to the Mill Market on a weekly basis. I can't see how bringing a few thousand people on a weekly basis downtown hurts it. Now, people are going to talk about parking. Well, I don't think parking's an issue. If you remember the former Memorial Gardens and the current Memorial Gardens, there were between 3,000 and 4,000 people there a couple nights a week, every second week. There was parking available. The size of the parking lots for both venues don't anywhere near meet what's needed to meet the demand of the people coming. But parking's never been that big of a problem. And I think if people are coming over the course of several hours, over a few days to the Mill Market, we have ample parking to keep it. And in talking to business owners downtown, if we can bring several thousand people down on a weekly basis, they're going to benefit from it. And that's revitalization.
Absolutely.
We have the natural beauty around us and the hiking and the biking and everything else and the beaches. That's a great calling card for us, but we need to enhance engagement opportunities for families. I stand by my decision to support it, and I'm confident that we'll have some federal funds to help offset the cost.
Yeah. And you have to spend money to make money, and we know we want to generate more revenue for the city, which would fall in tourism, and sure, people would come from all around for Mill Market.
Because we got to broaden our tax base, right?
Yes.
The only way that we're going to get taxes under control, and I'd argue that this council and even the latter part of the previous council has done a good job with staff to control tax increases, not to everybody's liking, but if we look at neighboring municipalities, I think we've done a really good job. Our credit ratings increased. We just found out about that in the last week or so.
Oh, good.
And that was because of like responsible management and some of the innovation within the community. So I think in order to get anything under control tax-wise, we have to broaden our tax base, and we have to fully engage anybody who's willing to come here, whether it be a business, whether it be any kind of not-for-profit or families, and develop the community, because that's where we're going to get the tax revenue from.
Yeah, and I agree with you too. I mean, succession planning and training is something that I think most businesses fail to prepare for.
Yep.
But with our aging demographic, and we are an aging demographic, or aging.
Yeah, we're one of the oldest communities in the province of Ontario.
Right.
Period.
So you need to create these infrastructure buildings or places or events for the younger generation who, if they go to London or Toronto or Ottawa for post-secondary, they're going to come back.
Yeah,
or they might even stay for a great post-secondary.
And you referenced the age or the demographic of the community.
Yeah.
So we've had hundreds of people, and I can personally attest because I'm the principal of an elementary school, and our school's grown significantly over the course of the last few months, and a lot of it is coming from people who are moving to the community. The problem is that we have a death rate that's up here, and our immigration's starting to catch up, but our death rate is outpacing that at which we're able to attract people. So we have to do this, right? Because we need people to take care of our young people. We need people to teach our kids. We need people to take care of us when we're elderly. We need the workforce in our hospitals and in the private sector. And without that, we're going to be in trouble. So whatever we can do, and I think we need to be laser focused on it. That's one of the reasons why I spearheaded the effort to attain the Canada Water Agency, which is going to be established over the course of the next year. We have a task force in place, and I think it's going to provide an excellent opportunity for Sault Ste. Marie, which is located in the middle of the Great Lakes, to be a leader internationally in water science and research and governance.
Fantastic.
And I think, the way the world's going, anything that we can do to protect our environment, I think if we can establish ourselves as a real player in that, there'll be a lot of spin-offs from it.
Good. That's fantastic. Now, Corey, we do have to end our time here, and congratulations on that. That's fantastic news, and good job.
We're working
on that. So, tell me, Corey, what are some things that council hasn't had time or won't have time to wrap up that you would want to make sure that is pushed along, or a lot of things get left. Perhaps, I don't know if you'll see the vision if you're to be elected back in for 2022. The vision of your last council. Right?
Yeah, so I think the last council has done our best to work to create an inclusive community. I think we have a lot of people who are moving here. I think the post-secondary institutions are attracting a lot of international families and students to our community, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think we really need to continue our work around homelessness and our challenges with addiction in the community.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think you're going to see some pretty innovative programming to bring care to those people where they need it, so it's not overwhelming our existing health infrastructure. So I'm hopeful. We always need more support from the federal and provincial government, and Mr. Romano and Mr. Sheehan, and I'm hopeful that as a community we can tackle some of the issues and expand on some of the good things that are going on.
And it's a good point that you said, and I like that you mentioned that. I think when all three levels of government somehow are cohesive and work together, it does ease the burdens. But just to point out, you are running for Ward 5, but you are representing the city and do lobby to the provincial and federal government and the henceforth. So, for Fed North for funding and whatever.
So a lot of that's left to the mayor, but I can tell you as recently as August, I was in Ottawa at the Association at AMO, right? And myself and a couple of councillors, along with a representative from the District Social Services Administration Board, met with several cabinet ministers to explain the challenges and to provide them some ideas that are working well here in the Sault that maybe could be expanded out provincially, or at the same time, if they'd be willing to kind of fund some ideas and initiatives that we have to deal with homelessness and the mental health challenges in the community.
I know that the delegations that were held at AMO were a lot. Everybody's having the same issue since the pandemic, and and we do know that homeless people from other municipalities or other parts of the province are being transported up to Sault Ste. Marie, and then there's an overload of people here. So, your hands full, but it's good that you are a part of AMO. We do pay into those as taxpayers. We do pay them as membership fees, Ontario Good Roads Association, and they have great conferences and such like that. So, well, Corey, thank you for joining us today.
I
Is there
appreciate
anything
it.
you'd like to say before we end the interview?
No, aside from the fact that I ran last time because I didn't think the West End of Sault Ste. Marie had as strong a voice as it could at the council table. I think that's been remedied to a certain extent. I'm looking to provide responsible and reliable representation moving forward, and I'm hopeful that people will consider me on October 24th and at the advance polls.
Well, absolutely, we will, and congratulations, and we'll be following you on your campaign, and thank you for being a great principal to a great school.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Colette.
Take care. That's all we have time for today on 101 with Colette Linden. We will be back tomorrow.